Good afternoon. After surviving an engine failure shortly after I received my pilot certificate, I associate this surviving with having a strong flight instructor, but also one that was an extremely good mentor and took time out to teach me more than what he should have had to teach. This is what makes a strong flight instructor and mentor. When a student pilot starts to learn to fly, and before he or she decides where to fly, it's best that you find a flight instructor that you can get along with and that shows a passion for flying and that is a good mentor. I recommend a flight instructor that meets these requirements, but also I would talk to some of your fellow students that have flown with him to see what type of flight instructor he's got. There are also two types of flight training that you can receive. One is where you go to your local airport and go to an aero club or a flight training center that's local, and you find the flight instructor and you take lessons there. You can take some ground school prior to the flying, but I would also recommend that you find a flight instructor that's willing to teach about an hour before the flying for what you're going to do that day, and then spend about 15-20 minutes after you're flying. That way you know what you need to work on and what you're expected for the day. If your flight instruction is solely for becoming a commercial pilot, then I would recommend taking a Part 141 flight school, such as Embry-Riddle or one of the other outstanding flight schools in the country. They have a little bit more rigid flight training program, and you may not have the same flight instructor every day. It can be shorter in time and maybe a little bit less in cost, but you also will not be able to enjoy the flight training because it'll be at such a heavy pace, and you may or may not be able to take a family member up along with you when you're flying with the flight instructor in the aircraft with you. You also want to find the flight instructor that you can get along with and that you don't have no adverse personalities. Otherwise, you may not finish your flight training. But in conclusion, the methods that you want to use to learn to fly is strictly up to you. But it's best to find the flight instructor that not only teaches you to fly, but installs the passion of flying, and that is an outstanding mentor. This way, it will be enjoyable, and you're ensured to complete your flight training. Thank you, and have a good day.